Well, I was up to the cabin not too long ago, roughing it out in the bush, don't you know. It's good to get away once in a while. Fresh air and nature can bring on a smile. I hopped in the car and drove for 3 hours with the missus and 5 or 6 youngsters, some hours. Some large double-doubles and timbits, I suppose. Might get us to Whitburn. We'll see how she goes. I hauled out the cell phone, looked for the app to turn on the heat and the plumbing and that. There's a 12-hour burner, but now who wants to be searching for birch rind and matches when all hands are perishing? We stopped in at Gooby's for refills and grub, picked up 3 dozen beer and a styrofoam tub full of ice that we put all the 3 dozen in, along with a bottle of that Newfoundland gin. It was Clarenville next for salt beef and cabbage. Got to have it for Sunday or the missus gets savage. But the youngsters don't like it, so I picked up 2 cases of craft dinner for them they can stuff in their faces. Next we drove to the Colonel's and picked up 3 buckets. Drove to Mary's for taters, McDonald's for nuggets. It's good to live off the land as you knows, but no need to go overboard, I suppose. Then back on the highway, north through the park. Through Terra Nova a bit after dark, we hauled up to the cabin, all hands feeling grand, to be back in the wilderness, living off the land. The kids all ran in, and next thing we heard was, "I can't get online, what's the Wi-Fi password?" We lost 7 Blue Star and 5 Jockey Club when the bottom let go in the styrofoam tub. After supper, I went for a walk with the wife. The kids all stayed in. They were watching The Voice. We were back in 10 minutes for cards and a beer. "Pooh," said our eldest, "you stinks of fresh air." We were up bright and early, about 9:30, went to visit the neighbours, and to save on some time, we grabbed coffee and hopped in our new side by each, drove 50 feet to their place on the beach. They were out in their hot tub with decoys set up, with 12 gauge and camo, watching out for a duck. My buddy's a hunter, all stocky and broad, but I only take shots from his tub or his quad. Next thing we knew, the kids were all bawling for a ride across too. They wanted to get all in the hot tub, and so we drove over for them. 'Twas like Vienna sausages by the time they were in. Then all of a sudden the mood took a turn. Things got pretty quiet, all faces were stern. We knew it was coming, could avoid it no more. I started the racket, someone had to for sure. Things turned pretty serious right off the bat, and half wanted this and half wanted that. We were split down the middle, with no answer to see. Game of Thrones or the hockey game? Which would it be? Well, the wife said that one of our votes was no good, 'cause a youngster named Lonzo was from Holyrood, and who was he anyway? Sure, he's not even ours. "I thought I was going to the dentist," said Lonzo. "I got mixed up in me cars." "My blessed," said the wife, "we got it done now. We'll be in the pen over this one, I allow." But as head of the family, I said there's no doubt that we'd take him home Monday, but his vote would still count. 'Twas all good in the end, and all hands were happy. We all settled down, and we stopped being snappy, when the Weiss Brothers trailer showed up on the scene. See, the Weiss Brothers trailer got a great big widescreen. The rest of the weekend was all pretty good, except for the time we were up in the woods. Lonzo kept saying we should have a bonfire, as the forest fire index went higher and higher. "Some chance now," I said, "we might burn the woods down." He said he wouldn't mind that before we went back to town, 'cause the only thing better than the cat in the dryer was watching the water bombers putting out a fire. Then our weekend was over. We hopped in the car, got out on the highway, but we didn't get far. This wilderness survival is all good, I suppose, but 3 days without Tim's is hard, as you knows. We dropped Lonzo off as we passed Holyrood. He wants to go again next week, and I suppose that's all good. As long as he leaves all his lighters behind. He's a hard little ticket, but he's mostly best kind. Well, we like it, the cabin. We're glad that we went. The wilderness suits us. We might buy a tent. We'll start it off easy, don't want it too hard. And the Wi-Fi's perfect out in our backyard.